In this episode, I talk to Monica from Box Femme. She is the ultimate girl boss and boxing badass. We talk about how to start a side hustle, how Mon built her business and brand, and all things business marketing. I learnt so much from this chat, and I hope you do too. Check out Mon's details in the description box below and enjoy. Welcome, Mon.
Hi, how you going?
Really good. How are you going?
I'm good, thank you. Ready for the interview.
Amazing. Cool. So we're going to talk a bit about sort of building a brand, starting a side hustle, that sort of thing, which I'm super keen actually to get your insights on. And I had a couple of people from my Instagram ask some questions as well, so they're in here too. But as a start, would you like to just give a bit of a quick overview about yourself, your business, your study, anything like that?
Yeah. So I graduated from UQ mid last year, and I did a degree in business management with majors in marketing and economics. So graduated mid last year, and then I landed a job with Lululemon. So that's that Canadian activewear brand, in their Queen Street store. So I've always loved Lululemon, and even just in our assignments, I guess, for marketing, they would always be that brand that we would always be analysing, because they were just like the epitome of like how to market a brand and how to like build a brand beyond the product. So they've always been it's always been a goal of mine to work for that company, and I guess progress my way up through there. So trying to get to their brand team and hopefully work in their Vancouver team over in their head office in Vancouver in Canada. So I've been doing that. And then last year in November, I decided to start a side hustle called Box Femme. So basically the reason it came about was because I started boxing about 2 years ago, just for fitness. So it was literally just like, it was offered at my gym. So I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, I just want to try it out. And as soon as I put those wraps on for the first time, I honestly just fell in love with it.
You were hooked.
Like, yeah. It was just something about, like, I think because it is something that's so male dominated, when I put it on, I was just like, wow, this is like so empowering. Like, I feel like I can channel this like inner badass.
I feel that.
So I was hooked. So I just kept doing it, and I was like, I told myself I wanted to get really good at it, because there were some girls in those classes that you'd watch them hit and you were like, wow. This one girl in particular, her name's Sophie, and she was the one always in the middle doing the demonstrations of the combo, and I was like, I'm going to hit like her one day. And I did. I stuck at it. I then started doing one-on-ones, so with my coach, Delroy. And we started filming videos together of like my combos, and I would start posting it on my Instagram, just my personal page. And the response from it was so like unreal. So a lot of girls were like, wow, this is awesome. Like, I want to do that. Where do you box? And I would always say the gym. So I was at Fit as FK in Kangaroo Point. I was boxing there, and I would tell them that. And I think what I started to find was that a lot of people already had their own gym memberships. And so they didn't want to like then go and sign up for another gym just to do the boxing. So I was like, how can I make this like more accessible for women if they just want the boxing? So then I was like, oh, well, how about just doing like a one-off event where someone can just pay for the event, do the boxing, and then no strings attached, and then they're out.
Yeah.
So then I, with one of the coaches, not Delroy, which I was doing the one-on-ones with, Donnie, he was another guy. I was like, I really was inspired by the way he coached, and I was like, I proposed the idea. So I went home, I got a whiteboard out, and I was like, started brainstorming all these names, Googling if they existed, and then Box Femme came about, which I loved because it was like that boxing aspect, but then that feminine side, because I wanted to obviously target it towards women.
Yeah.
So got the logo done up, and created this like pitch, and I like did like a PowerPoint, and I was like, this is like why I want to do it, like my mission, like the values of the brand, where I want to be. So I remember like the last page, it was like Steph Claire Smith and her like kick community, and it was a photo of like her big events that she has. I'm pretty sure she had one at the Brisbane Entertainment Centre.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to do that, but with boxing, like just like hundreds of chicks going out to box.
Yeah.
And so that's been like kind of the big picture of it all. But then Donnie got on board, and so we started doing the events. And so the events were once a month. I've only done 3 so far, and then COVID obviously happened. But the events were based off, so I decided to do them in supporting charities. So this whole time I've never actually like gained any profit for myself. It's just been all the money raised, all profits raised goes towards a charity that empowers women. So the first one was actually unreal because Mecca, the makeup brand, they have a initiative called M, then dash power, Empower. And they work with, every year they pick charities that they want to support, and they picked 3 charities that supported females through education. So there was one that was supporting Aboriginals and Torres Strait Islanders here in Australia, and then a Cambodia one, and there was one other one. And anyway, I reached out to one of the girls. Actually, the Mecca girl reached out to me because she heard I wanted to do an event. And so I was like, let's collaborate, and I'll run this event, and all the profits raised will go towards that those charities. So we ended up raising 1,000, and we did like a raffle, but then Mecca matched the price. So we ended up getting $2,000 for these charities, which is amazing.
So
and it was so cool. Like I still like get shivers from that event because it was like 40 girls all coming together. Really cool. So we coincided it with the gym's birthday, their 2nd birthday. So it actually turned out to be, there was a lot of people there already. And then because I've like grew a strong relationship with this gym, they were like, yes, you can come like launch your brand at our gym.
Cool.
So that was awesome. And then from there, we kind of created this agreement where every month I could run an event from their gym. And yeah, so we've done the 3 events. We've done one for the bushfire appeal. The second one I really enjoyed. We created like a, well, I say we, but it's just me.
Me and the team.
Yeah, the team, massive like group that I have. I decided to, because a big part of Box Femme isn't just the boxing. So the values is connect, empower, and hustle. Yeah. And so I wanted to create that empowering atmosphere. And so a big part was making women feel confident and strong in their own skin. And so a big issue that I think a lot of women reach out to me about is like their body and like how like they can, like body image issues and self-esteem and feeling confident in your own skin. And so that's a big part of Box Femme. And that second event, I created it around body image, the theme of the event. So I actually had a good friend of mine in Toowoomba. She was a guest speaker, and she's an ex-international model turned naturopath. She's like in her final year of study, and she experienced an eating disorder and like came out the other end, and it's a truly amazing story. And she shared her story with all the girls that were there. It was so emotional, but so like inspiring. Like it was just a circle. I'll send you the images after, but there was a really powerful image, and it was just like all of us in a circle sitting down, and it was just like there was emotion and like it was unreal. And that charity that I supported was the Butterfly Foundation for that one. So it went really well, like hand in hand. And then we even had like a spread after. So I put some food on, and that's that whole connection side of the brand, which I am like a big believer in, like fostering community, and even just a basic human need. Like I feel we all need that sense of belonging. And I know I'm lucky enough, I have like a really solid friendship group, but some women and girls around me don't. And that's why I kind of wanted to create this community where like women, like-minded women can come together and, you know, just have someone to talk about whatever they want with, or like just like feel like they belong.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So that's a big part of it. And like, I don't know, I just get such a thrill, and like it really fuels me when I like can just connect. Like, for example, you, like, we've just connected over Instagram, but like I feel like we've known each other for ages, and it's just like, for me, that's much more than just, you know, getting money for this like Box Femme or anything. Like,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I had no idea about, you know, like all of the charities and stuff. I thought you were sick, but now I just think that you're even cooler. That's just so awesome. And yeah, such a really cool thing to bring everyone together around.
Yeah. And you can just like, I don't know, there's something about it, but like it started off obviously with all my friends supporting me, because I feel like that's a big thing when you do start your own side hustle. You use your warm market, which is that like your close network, and they're always going to be there and support you. But it's just grown. Like people are starting to obviously see what I'm doing, and like I'm reaching out, I'm getting in touch with people that I don't even know, and they like know me. Like a funny coincidence, actually, like one girl, I started creating worksheets as well that empower the women. So I did like a vision and goals worksheet. Cool. And this lady, Belinda, she reached out and was like, I'd love your worksheet. And I sent it to her, and she gave me her feedback on it, and she showed me what she did. Anyway, I was at Lululemon, and part of when we get a guest, so they're our customers, when they come in, we have to write their name when they go into the fitting room. And she was like, oh, my name's Belinda. My name's Belle. I wrote Belle. And then I told her my name. And then when I come back to check in on her, she's like, are you Monica from Box Femme? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, I got that vision and goals thing from you. And I was like, no way. And so now we're like really good friends.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was just a small world. But I guess that shows like that community that I've been able to, like, I'm obviously part of the Lululemon community, and a lot of their values obviously shine through, and like the values that I have at Box Femme, and you kind of attract that tribe.
That would have been the most awesome feeling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like, I was in a bit of like a shock mode. I was like, what's that?
A real influencer moment. Yeah. That's really, really cool.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Like the whole rundown of how it all started. And I guess now with all of like COVID, I haven't been able to do the events. But that's where I've started to kind of transition into, you know, getting some products in, and that's always something that I've wanted to do. So I've been designing boxing gloves and like wraps, like obviously branded and everything. So that's a different segment I'm kind of going down. But the core is obviously that like community.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, my next question was, I guess, what was your inspirations for starting the brand? But I think you kind of answered it there, just bringing women together, that sense of community and stuff like that. And I mean, boxing, I feel like is the perfect thing to bring people together over. Like I know when I'm boxing, exactly like you said, you just feel so empowered and so badass.
Yeah.
So good.
There's something about it.
I know.
And I think a big thing is because women are kind of like taught to be, there's this stigma that we should be feminine and, you know, like not show our aggression. The fact that we can like embrace and use this avenue to like release this aggression that we all have, like it's human nature, like we all have it. And to be able to release that, I think what you get, that feeling that you get after boxing is like, you can't get with any other, like exercise or anything.
Yeah, 100%.
You'll have these endorphins and like, I don't know, it's like that empowering feeling, which is why like I rave about it, because I was like, boxing is much more than the physical scope. Like it's that mental side. It's that like, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Did you have any sort of self-doubt when you were starting up the side hustle and the business?
So someone once told me this, how like when you start a side hustle, it kind of goes into this like this graph, like this wave, and it's like you get the idea and you're just fully inspired and you're like yes, and like I think for me, I just went like guns blazing. I like just had the idea and I was like, I'm going for it. Like I told my friends and they were supporting. I was like, I've got the support group, like just going for it. So I went for it and like everything was going well. And then you kind of reach that peak and you're like, holy shit, like fear kind of strikes in, because it's like, whoa, like what am I actually doing? Like I'm by myself and like I'm doing all this stuff. Like like, how can I do it by myself? And I feel like that's when the self-doubt like hits in, because it's like, I think everything's running smoothly and then something happens, or like you just a bit of self-doubt, or someone says something and it's like, whoa. And like that did happen to me. I was like a bit shocked, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this by myself now. Something happened and I was really just turned off it, and I like went down, and I hit this like low, and I was like, you know what, I don't really want to do this anymore. Like, I don't, it was, I thought I was going to throw it all in the bag at that stage. And then I came across this quote, and it was, a setback is a setup for a comeback. And I took it like the complete opposite view of it. I was like, okay, what are the lessons I've learned from this? Like, how do I come back bigger and better? And thinking about it now, like, it's the best thing that ever happened to me, that that downfall, that I've now been able to like reposition myself and how I want to like focus Box Femme on. And that was a big thing. So at the start, I didn't want Box Femme to be me. I just wanted it to be the brand, and like me just to be behind the scenes. But then I started to realize like Box Femme is me, and it's like a lot of my values. And I think that's why I resonate with so many people, because they like resonate with my core values.
And the connection is such a big.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was a big like light bulb moment where I was like, all right, like I just need to show myself and be authentic and be transparent, and then like that, and it's just been so much easier that way.
Yeah, for sure. That's really, really cool, actually. So you talked a little bit about how, I guess, contributing to the self-doubt was just you had so much going on. And obviously when you start a side hustle, it's a bit of a commitment, and it's a long time of putting a lot of work in before you get any sort of returns. How did you balance studying, working, your side hustle, everything like that?
Yeah, so really good question, because I am a bit of a stress head. Like, I was in uni.
Yeah.
And I was introduced to meditation a year ago, and just that whole being mindful. And I can honestly say, like, that is my savior. Like, it's my medicine. I started it last year with Mindful in May. So it's this initiative that was started by this Australian lady, Elise, forget her last name, Big Bile or something like that. And it's a month of meditating, and you get, you join this community, and you get interviews every day that you can listen to about like the science behind it as well, which really fascinates me. Because like once they tell you there's like, you know, like your brain can change from it, you're just like, okay, this is like serious stuff. Yeah. And so I can honestly say that has been a big part of it, just learning how to just take one step back. And I practice every day meditating, but that was a big part of learning how to not overthink things, especially because I had so much on my plate. But I'm also a big believer in like lists and like setting up myself for the week. So like I have a diary, and like I know exactly what I want to do for this week, like what I want to achieve. But yeah, that is probably the biggest thing. The meditation side of it has helped me to be able to focus on my stress and like keep it down. And I can say like now, like I feel like I have a very balanced life, even though I'm like juggling study, side hustle, work. But yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way, I guess.
That's amazing. I'm such a big advocate for meditation, so I love that you said that.
I'm just set it up. I'm shocked that we don't learn it earlier.
Exactly.
Like I don't understand why we don't. And I think actually they are starting to realize that now, and like schools are implementing it. Yeah. Like I think there's a lot of like just classes that they'll literally do like a meditation class for little kids, which I think is unbelievable.
So good. I know people at uni, like my friends and stuff, are always like, how are you not stressing? How have you got this done? I'm like, guys, I'm telling you, like it's meditation. I swear to God, it's not this secret. It's that easy.
Oh yeah. It's like, it's unbelievable. I actually got like 3 of my friends to do Mindful in May this year. So it just finished. And it's funny how like I was like, I told you, and now like because you see it, like you don't meditate to get good at meditation. You meditate to get good at life, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like
Exactly.
they see that, like they've seen it reflect in their life. They're less reactive to things. Like they actually like sit back, and rather than being so like reacting in like a harsh way, they'll take that time and then, you know, react to it in a like a light.
Yeah, awesome. So in terms of, I guess, when you're balancing so much stuff, do you think that your side hustle, do you want that to become your sort of full-time job, or do you think you'll always have the Lululemon job and a few things going on?
That's honestly a question I'm still navigating myself. Just because I know, like, I like to have goals and like work towards them, and I think getting into that like high level within Lululemon is a big goal of mine. Yeah. But you never know what happens in that time. But for me, I've always seen Box Femme as like my release of like my creativity and like that connection side. Like I've got like my little like group, my little girl tribe, girl gang. So it's honestly, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I know that it can be something that could move with me. Like for example, if I do move to Canada, this is something that can go there as well. Like it can be a global thing, and it actually is starting to be one. I've got people in Canada like doing the workouts and posting about it, and the worksheets that I created have been used in a school over in Canada. So these little kids, a PE class, they started implementing a mindful course for 4 weeks. And so I created these worksheets along with another girl that works for me at Lululemon, who's Canadian, who kind of created that connection as well. She's like, I've got this group of little kids that the teacher wanted them to do this stuff. So we created these worksheets for them. And that's been used in Canada. So
that's crazy. And I guess probably what I'm assuming what everyone has learned in these times is that like everything can be online now, so you can take it anywhere.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. How important do you think when it comes to starting a side hustle and starting a brand and a business is picking a sort of specific target audience and values and that sort of thing? Do you think that's a big importance?
Yeah, 100%. If you speak to the masses, you speak to no one. So you definitely have to like really nail who you want to target. And I think for me it was kind of easy because my target market was me. Like I knew exactly who I was trying to speak to because it was people that were like me, like you, for example. Like I see a lot of like commonalities that we have between us. So like perfect target market. So I think really nailing who you want to speak to, and I just did a little like worksheet on how you can really identify, like build your brand from the get-go. And I think a big thing is like creating this like avatar, I guess, of who your ideal customer is. And so it's like, okay, what does my avatar do on the weekends? Like, where does she shop? Like, what is she wearing? Where does she work? Like really diving deep. Like it's not just the age, like it's not just women. I guess mine would be like women from like 14 to 15-year-olds, like that teenage year where they're starting to, you know, like start worrying about their body and everything, to up until like 60 or so. I had how old is she? It's close to 60, probably like 50, come to one of my boxing events. Like, and she was unreal, but you have to dive deeper than that age and that like, you have to really get into there and be like, okay, like does my ideal customer like socializing? Is she really into community? Does she like do that? Blah, blah, blah. And then once you've got that ideal customer, you look at what brands they follow. So what brands they already follow. And then you go, why do they follow those brands? And then from there, you see what do those brands already post. And then you've really got like a full understanding of that, like who you're trying to target.
Yeah. Wow, this is great. This is like a study session for me. I'm just like taking notes. I'm loving this.
Yeah.
Do you have any other tips in terms of marketing when you're starting a business?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing it honestly, it does kind of depend on what you're selling, or like it's product service based. But I think the biggest thing that is kind of like the same for everyone is making sure you like build that trust. And I say that like community, I guess, from the get-go, because you could come out with a product and no one's gonna like believe or like trust. There's no relationship built. And that's something that I've really learned, that I wasn't going to just come out with like boxing products, because like who was going to buy that? So it's honestly starting from the start, building the trust, building that, I guess, that community or like that following that you want. And then once you've built that, then you can go in with like the products or the services, and then it's a no-brainer for them. Like they'll buy from you no matter what. So that's a big thing I find in terms of like marketing. In terms of marketing, I guess, like, yeah, it's being strategic with the content that you deliver as well. So it's like what will speak to your audience. But yeah, being transparent and building that trust.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
If you were to give, I guess, someone who wanted to start sort of a side hustle and had no idea where to start, would you have kind of 2 or 3 tips that you could give them?
Yeah. I definitely think surround yourself around the right people. So people that will like force you to like, you know, level up. Like people that like to see you win, because I think it's so hard, and that's something that I've learned, that like if you surround yourself around people that don't want to see you win, like you won't get anywhere. Like you need someone that will support you. And I'm lucky enough I had like a really supportive group that were like, yes, like you've got this, like, and that's helped a lot. And don't be afraid if it's already done, because no one is you, like, and that's your power, you know?
Yeah.
So like no one's going to deliver. There's so many boxing gyms out there, but they're not doing it the way that I'm doing it in a completely different way. Like it's something that extends much more, far beyond the boxing, you know? Yeah, so if there's something that exists or that's similar, like you're going to deliver it in a completely different way.
Right, and you're going to bring, I think, your values to it, which is what I think sets you apart. Is it's not just boxing, it's so much more.
Yeah. And then the last tip I would say is, if there is something out there that has really inspired you, like a brand that's really inspired you, or like you want to do something similar, don't be afraid to reach out. Because the amount of times like you just like slide into their DMs and be like, hey, whatsoever, like I was really inspired by your page. Like I just want to know like how you did this, or where you got this from, or blah, blah, blah. 9 times out of 10, they'll actually reply to you, and they'll be so grateful that you've reached out to them. And then they'll offer you like tips, or like they'll offer you like, and that's happened to me. Like I've reached out to people and they've like come back with all this stuff, or even an opportunity has come out of it. Like,
yeah, me too.
Amazing. Like, let's do this together. And I'm like, okay, I was just asking this question, but you know, let's do it.
Hell yeah, I know. I've started doing that a little bit. It's like, what have you got to lose? And also crazy opportunities have come out of it as well, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. That's all my questions. Thank you so much. That was freaking awesome. Like a study session for me. I loved it.
No, that was really good. Thanks for that.
Thank you.